The doors of your car will close automatically. Please keep your head and arms inside and remain seated at all times. And please, no smoking. Thank you.
Matterhorn Matt presents Matterhorn Mondays.
Hey there, Mountaineers. Welcome to episode 23 of Matterhorn Mondays. I am your host, Matterhorn Matt.
And I'm Alex the Historian.
And today, our two topics are favorite and least favorite Disney movies, and we're going to sort of discuss if we could replace one attraction at Walt Disneyland, that's not right. If we could replace one attraction at Disneyland, what would it be? And it's not... Okay, I'll explain the rules once we get into the topic. But, yeah, guys, before we start, I want to thank you all for... I think it's almost 16,000... Not 16,000. 1,600 subscribers. I don't know why you guys are crazy for subscribing this many times to my channel, but I really appreciate it, and we appreciate all the stuff you guys are doing over on Alex's channel as well. And oh my gosh, Alejandro is watching from Spain. That is awesome. Hello from Spain. Or not hello from Spain, hello Spain. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into our first topic, which is favorite and least favorite Disney movies. Now, this was a really tough sort of list I had to compile. I originally said top 3 favorite Disney movies, and then I changed it to top 5 favorite Disney movies because I could not cut it down to enough movies. They were all just like either tied for first or tied for second. You guys know what I mean. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off today. This isn't in any, I guess, like particular order. It might be for Alex, but my list isn't really ordered. It's just by the movies that first popped into my head first. So my number 1 is Beauty and the Beast, the classic Beauty and the Beast. I'm sure Alex can vouch for me. Now, it's been a while since I've seen the original, not the live action one, the original animated one, but I can remember it like beat for beat. It's really one of my favorite Disney movies. I don't know, yeah. It's really one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. Tied for first with a lot of the ones on my list. Alex, what are your thoughts on Beauty and the Beast?
Beauty and the Beast it's actually one of my favorites as well, and it's just so cool. I actually really like it because I really like the characters. I really like the Beast's character, and I like Cogsworth and Lumiere and all of them. So it's definitely like one of those like kind of tear-jerking movies. I really like it a lot.
Yeah, one of the real positives for me is the, not really like diversiveness, but like all the different characters they have. Like Alex said, Lumiere and Cogsworth, they mush together so perfectly. And also, my favorite part of the movie, well, I guess favorite parts, is like the sort of musical part of it. I love the songs from this movie.
It's really good songs.
I really sing along to them each time. I even sing when Belle is singing. That's how much I love the songs.
Oh gosh.
Alex, what is your, I guess, number 1 top favorite? What is your number 1 Disney movie?
Okay. I usually split my favorite Disney movies between classic Disney and Pixar. So I would say that in classic Disney movie, my favorite of all time would probably be Pinocchio. I really love that movie. It's so, such a sweet movie, and it's, it's definitely one of those movies that is kind of like very emotional, and then as well as it's adventurous and heartwarming, and the characters are really lovable, you know, especially Jiminy Cricket. And I really laugh a lot at the two villains, Foulfellow and Gideon, and I really like that movie a lot. It's definitely my favorite classic Disney movie. But my second to it, and I have to mention this because my second favorite to Pinocchio, and it's almost on the line, really, is Alice in Wonderland, the classic animated one.
Oh my gosh.
I love that one so much because I could sing every song in classic Alice in Wonderland. I think the humor is so funny, and like I love just the craziness of it all, and the funny wit that they have and everything. It's just, it makes me laugh a lot. And I like to impersonate a lot of the characters. It's like, especially like the caterpillar, like, who are you? Anyway, but so those two movies are almost at the same level for me. I love them so much. So those are my first two.
Yeah, we talked about Pinocchio in our last video, Matterhorn Movies. If you guys haven't already watched that, go check it out. It came out, on Friday of last week. Yeah, Friday of last week. If you guys want to hear our, I guess, sort of expanded thoughts on the movie, you can go check it out. It's a really great video. But Alice in Wonderland, I actually watched that for the first time this past year, and I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't think it was going to be that good, but it really surpassed my expectations. It was really confusing for me because when I watched it, it wasn't like, I felt like there wasn't really any like plot or anything, but overall, I love the movie. I love Alice in Wonderland, and since then, my appreciation for Alice in Wonderland has grown substantially. Let's see. I guess my number two... Man, it's really hard for me to order these because they'd all be tied for first, in my opinion. But my number two is Treasure Planet. You guys have heard me talk about Treasure Planet 1,000 times. I feel like it's really underrated. I mean, what else is there to say? I love the score of the movie. I just can't put into words why I love this movie so much. The use of deep canvas in the movie, mixed with CGI, mixed with traditional animation, is really astounding for its time. I can't recall when it came out, but I remember watching the trailer when I was a kid. I think it was for on my Pinocchio VHS. Andrew's like, Treasure Planet, what the heck? Not a lot of people are going to agree with me, but I love Treasure Planet so much. It's really got a lot of just memories from my childhood when I watch it. It's, I don't know, just a lot of nostalgia. And I rewatched it a couple months ago, and it still holds up to me, in my opinion.
Okay. I haven't seen Treasure Planet, but yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You have not seen it. You're gonna have to watch it for our monthly movie thing. It'll be later down the line, but Alex is gonna have to watch Treasure Planet for the first time, and he's gonna be able to give his first impressions. Mark says Treasure Planet over Atlantis. I started watching Atlantis a couple months ago, and I wasn't able to finish it. Not because it was boring, just because I didn't feel like watching it anymore. Anyways, Alex, what is your... I guess this would be number 3 favorite movie.
My number 3 favorite movie would definitely be... oh gosh, it's a really difficult tie, but it would have to be either Toy Story or Toy Story 3. Because, okay, here's the reason why it's such a tie, is because Toy Story is just classic Pixar, and it's such a great, tale and just really awesome movie, and I never get tired of watching it. But at the same time, the third one is so, like, it really tugs at your heart and your nostalgia for Toy Story. So it's just right up there with Toy Story for me. So I have to say that I can't decide on my third one whether it's Toy Story or Toy Story 3, but it's definitely one of those.
Oh man, I remember watching Toy Story 3 in the theater. I cried so much, especially at the end when they're all holding hands, accepting their fate, about to fall into the furnace.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I cried during that scene so hard. I was like, no!
But yeah, it's like you've been with these characters for however many years it's been between the first Toy Story and the third one, and it's like you don't want those characters to go out like that, and it's just, oh my gosh. It's a really amazing movie. Toy Story 1, on the other hand, is also a good movie. I was going to say it's a terrible movie, but it's not a terrible movie. It's a great movie. It's been a while since I've seen Toy Story 1, but, I mean, it just sticks in your head. You can't really ever forget, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. But, let's see. Yeah, that's all I have to say about those two movies. My number 3. Now, like I said, these are interchangeable for whatever rank I rank them at. My number 3 is Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins is just a classic for me. It's not a movie a lot of my friends have seen, or even a movie that they don't think that it's a Disney movie. That's what I'm trying to say. But if you guys have never seen Mary Poppins, it really is one of the sweetest, most amazing movie of all time. Let's see. Really, the parts I like most on this movie is the songs again. I mean, I can sing each song basically line for line. I'm sure you guys do not want to hear that. But it's also a really heartwarming story about these sort of bratty kids and their dad, who's sort of not like overprotective, but like really strict, and in the end they work things out. I'm not gonna give away too much.
I don't think I have seen that one.
Oh my goodness. Alex has not seen Mary Poppins. Oh my gosh. That's really surprising for me. I mean, who hasn't seen Mary Poppins? You guys have seen Mary Poppins, right? Type in the chat if you've seen Mary Poppins and loved it.
You know what? I think I have. I just don't remember it all that well. Because you know what it is? Live action musicals don't really interest me. So
okay.
I think I have seen it, and I remember certain songs. Like okay, I know one song, and maybe it's just because I've seen the movie Saving Mr. Banks, but I think like, oh, it's got to be one of my other favorites. Is Feed the Birds.
Me too.
Feed the Birds.
Yes.
I think I know that song. I know that song.
Yeah, like every single song in that movie is top notch. I would listen to it nonstop. Let's see. I mean, yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. And if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it. Alex is gonna have to rewatch it in the next couple months for our movie review series, and I'm sure he's gonna love it. Anyways, Alex, what is your number 4 favorite Disney movie?
That would be Princess and the Frog.
Ooh.
Yeah, Princess and the Frog is so wonderful. Like, it reminds me of a classic Disney movie, and yet it's so new and fresh, and and I really like the characters. I really like Tiana and how hard she works for for everything, and definitely I think that the characters are funny. Like, my favorite character in the movie is Ray the Bug, and he's so hilarious. And the other favorite thing about it is that she's got a love for cooking, which is what I share. I mean, I'm also a chef, so I really love to cook.
That's right.
And the movie just kind of like, gets me right there. I really love it. So, yeah. So Princess and the Frog is definitely my number 4.
Ooh, I have not seen The Princess and the Frog. You guys can bash me in the chat and in the comments. It's on my list though. It's up there along with Bambi, Lady and the Tramp, all the other ones I haven't seen. You guys are gonna scream at me for not seeing Bambi or Lady and the Tramp either. But yeah, I think I remember watching it a long, long time ago. I remember vague, just random scenes from the movie. I remember, oh my gosh, I think I just almost spoiled the movie for some of you guys. I could be totally wrong though, but yeah, I've never seen The Princess and the Frog, but I'm definitely gonna watch it in the future. Let's see, my number 4 is The Little Mermaid.
Oh, that's a good one.
The Little Mermaid should be on everyone's top 5, or maybe even top 3 list. The Little Mermaid is the movie that sort of saved the Disney company, and it's also one of my favorite movies. It's a favorite among my whole family, my mom, my sister, and even my dad, I think. Yeah, it really, I mean, I don't even know, like, these movies are they're just so classical. The music in the movie, I'm a sucker for musicals, guys. I loved La La Land. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but that's not really a Disney movie. But yeah, I'm just a sucker for any movie, especially a Disney movie that has songs in it, like Moana or any of those movies.
Let's see. Okay, so I would put Little Mermaid as my number 5, but just to make things interesting, I'll come up with another one. And I'll say that, oh gosh, it's gotta be, number 5 is difficult because it's either The Lion King or Tangled. I really like both of those so much. I mean, The Lion King, I love to sing all the songs. I grew up on that movie, and it's just really awesome. But at the same time, Tangled is so new and so fresh, and I can't really sing any of the songs because I don't know the lyrics that well. Except for one song, the most famous song in that movie. Oh gosh, I can't decide if it's Lion King or Tangled to be my number 5. There's so many good Disney movies out there, it's hard to put it into a list, you know what I mean?
Yeah, guys, this was really hard for us to do. I had to cut so many good movies from my top 5. This is just, I guess, like the pinnacle of my top 5. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Anyways,
you know what? I'll just name off a bunch of other movies I like because it's hard to put them into a line. So like for instance, I like Atlantis, The Lost Empire. I love that one. I like Fox and the Hound. Fox and the Hound is that one's you haven't seen Fox and the Hound? Oh boy,
No.
that's a tearjerker. I also like Fantasia, but do I like it enough to put it on a list? Oh, geez, I don't know. Um, Snow White. Snow White's definitely one of my favorites. It's tough. No, it's tough to be a Bug. A Bug's Life is another one of my favorites. Gosh, I could name so many. I could name so many, but I'm not going to.
Now let's see. My number 5 is, this was really hard because I flip-flopped between a couple movies. I flip-flopped between Tangled, I had Moana up there, but eventually I settled on Lilo and Stitch. I finally watched this movie after years of not seeing it. I remember watching the TV show on Disney Channel, though, when I was really, really young. But I finally watched this movie a couple months ago, and I didn't think it was going to be that good. But one of my friends just kept hounding to me to watch it because it was a really great movie, and I watched it, and I was blown out of the water. I did not expect it to be as good as it is. And it's not, I don't think it's one of the sort of like musical movies like Mary Poppins or The Lion King, but it doesn't really, it holds up without the music, for me at least. And I mean, who doesn't love Stitch? Who doesn't love Stitch? Who doesn't want a pet Stitch to take home and to play fetch with? I don't know. Lilo and Stitch is a really great movie, guys.
You know, I'm gonna admit something here. I've seen Lilo and Stitch several times, but it's not on my list of most liked movies.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it. I think Lilo and Stitch is a really good movie, and the fact that they play a lot of Elvis music and things like that. I think it's a really good movie, but I wouldn't say it's on my list of favorites. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, I flip-flopped between Tangled and Moana. If this was a top 7 list, I'd have Tangled and Moana, because those two are amazing movies, and I'm going to admit I have not seen The Lion King in many years. I haven't seen it since I was maybe like 6 or 8. So it's not really fresh in my mind, and I didn't really want to put it up on my list without me like being able to remember anything from it. But now let's sort of move on to our least favorite movies, and this was even harder for me to come up with than the condensing my list to the top 5. I mean, there weren't really a lot of Disney movies I've seen that I didn't like, but then again, I have not seen nearly as many Disney movies as I'm sure you guys or Alex has. Like I said, I haven't seen Bambi, I haven't seen The Hunchback. No, I've seen that once. But yeah, I'm gonna start off with Alex this time, since I went first on the other one. Alex, what is your least favorite Disney movie?
Okay, so my number 1 least favorite Disney movie would... Okay, it would have to be Frozen.
Ooh.
Yeah, because here's the reason. I feel like Frozen was just a sad little pandering to kids and women and all sorts of people out there that are really into that kind of stuff, because it's like Disney movies usually work hard to make their characters lovable and whatever, but with this movie they didn't work hard. They just thought of what's the cutest thing that you'd want to see, and then we're going to have that as a character. And so, like, for instance, I really don't like Olaf the Snowman, because he's too easy of a character. He's just like, oh, I'm a cute little snowman, and I love hugs. I love warm hugs. And I'm like, that's too that's too lovey-dovey and easy for Disney. Like, you know, it's one thing to get you to love Timon and Pumbaa, you know, or to get you to love, like, another sidekick character. Like, let's say, like, I think another lovable character would probably be Pascal from Tangled, the little chameleon.
yeah.
You know, that's a lovable character. And that's hard because Pascal has no lines at all. But you see how easy it is for Disney to make you to love Olaf because he goes, "Oh, I'm a snowman and I love warm hugs." You know, it's too easy. And then and then the fact that the characters, the sisters, it's like they grow apart because of one sister has powers, and it just seems like all their problems could have been solved with just simple communication. And I know that a lot of movies are like that. Like a lot of movies are just like the conflict is the fact that people can't talk to each other, right? And get things down correctly. So everyone's like, conflicted in a bunch of movies. But nevertheless, I feel like the movie was just too easy and pandered too much to everyone's like soft spot, and it didn't require any effort to make you like the characters. And the music is the other thing I hate about the movie. The music is too easy as well. It's just like I'm trying to think, like I don't know.
Hey Alex.
What?
Do you want to build a snowman?
Oh, jeez. See, that's what I'm talking about. Do you want to build a snowman? It's just like, what? Like, it requires no effort. It's just, they just chose the easiest things to say to make you love them. And it's just like, what? Anyway, so, everyone's just like, just let it go. Anyway, but, oh gosh, that's just, yeah. So I'm gonna stop talking about that one because I can go on and on. But but yeah, I really hate Frozen because it did not try very hard, and I'd say the only thing that really went for that movie I think the animation is where they really tried. The animation is where they put effort in the movie. The script writing and the songwriting, no. But the animation, yeah, they worked really hard because they did the whole movie in hand-drawn animation first, and then they went and put all that into CGI. Oh. So yeah, they worked really hard on that movie when it came to animation, but nothing else goes for
it. Man, it has been a while since I've seen Frozen. I think I've only seen it just a total of once. And I can recall the exact moment I saw the Frozen trailer. I was in Spanish class. It was my sophomore year in high school. I think it was my sophomore. But my teacher was playing some sort of video on YouTube, and the Frozen ad came up before the video, and everyone in the room was like, "Oh my gosh, I have to see Frozen. Look how awesome it looks." And when I eventually saw it, I agree with Alex. It wasn't that good, but I think it's, I don't know. I feel like it's decent. I kind of like the music in it. I like Let It Go. I like, Do You Want to Build a Snowman? But I don't know. I feel like for me, it was just the fact that everyone would not stop talking about it for like 3 years. Do you guys know what I mean? Like, everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, have you seen Frozen?" And everyone was just quoting the movie. I don't think I've seen anything like that for any other Disney movie, not like Moana or anything like that. But it was just the fact that everybody, like literally every person I talked to, would quote the movie. And it's like, oh my gosh, we get it. You've seen the movie. Yeah, it just got really annoying really fast.
Yeah, I mean, it's like... people, okay, so for instance, Lex Facet Regim said, "How many Disney songs have shown up on the Billboard's top 10s within the last decades?" Well, the interesting thing is I have a theory about movies, especially Disney movies, since we're kind of on this topic. And it's that it's not hard to make the audience happy. It's really not. The hard part is making a movie that you want to make and that is about your dream and the story that you want to put together and make the audience like it. It's not hard to make a movie for the audience. So you get a lot of movies out there that don't try very hard, and and they just do whatever the audience seems to like. It's not hard to figure out. People, when it comes to music, people like a certain beat. People like certain sounds and certain lyrics, and a lot of the best songs out there have no lyrical make no lyrical sense at all, and a lot of the best songs out there don't require any difficult music creation. So, and I'm saying popularity wise. I mean, obviously there's classic songs like like there's really good bands out there that really know their music and stuff like that, but it's not hard for someone to put together a beat that's really catchy and put together a lyric that's really catchy and rhymes. It's not hard. So it's like, that's just the interesting thing is like look at rap songs. Like a lot of everybody really likes rap songs because, and I asked them, I say, why? Oh, I like the beat. And I'm like, that's it. It's not beat. The beat is not hard. Try playing a guitar the way like the best people out there like Guns N' Roses or Mick Jagger or somebody, try playing a guitar the way that they do, or like Robert Smith from The Cure, the way that he makes the guitar almost talk. I mean, try doing that and making a song that everybody likes. That's hard. But taking your little synthesizer and putting together a beat, that's not hard, and that can reach the top of the list very quickly. So when I say that Frozen is not the best Disney movie, it's because they didn't try hard to make it, and the characters were really easy. The dialogue was really flat. The story was not even inexistent. It was just, it lacks in so many areas. And unfortunately, it's the reason why it's so popular is because the movie is so easy to like. That's the problem. Yes. That's the reason. So absolutely. A lot of people will say, well, they must have did something right. And what I have to say to that is you don't have to do something necessarily good or hardworking to get people to like something. You can just do something real easy and people will like it. So, I'm sorry. We'll move on.
The real beef I have with the movie is the fact that they showed a 30-minute quote short in front of the movie Coco. Like, that does not make any sense. Normal Pixar shorts are 2, maybe 3, or even 5. I don't know. I'm just throwing out numbers. 5 minutes, but they decide to put in a 30-minute short about Olaf right in front of the movie. Like, who is going to want to sit down and watch 30 minutes of Frozen and then watch another hour and a half of Coco? It just doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Mark Abarca says, it's like Michael Bay and Transformers. Robots that fight plus Megan Fox equals profit. That's totally right. I mean, you just you just put a whole lot of action in a movie, put a lot of explosions and hot women, and the next thing you know, the movie makes $1 million. It takes no effort whatsoever to make a good movie or a good song.
Swagford95 says Disney had no faith in Coco. I feel like that's what a lot of people thought, but then once they saw the movie, I mean, look at it. Isn't it nominated for an Oscar or an Emmy? I don't even know. It's nominated for something. But that's what I thought too when I heard that they were going to play the Frozen short in front of Coco. I was thinking, oh my gosh, is this movie going to suck? Is that why they're trying to do this, to pull in audiences? But I was surprised to see that was not the case. Coco is a really great movie, and it would have been on my top 5, but I just couldn't find another movie to cut. Let's see.
I still haven't seen Coco.
You're gonna love it. I love it so much. I've only seen it once, and I think that's all I can bear. I cried, not gonna lie, I cried so many times in that movie. I feel like it tugs at your heartstrings even more than even like Pinocchio or any other classic Disney movies. But let's go ahead and move on to one of my least favorite Disney movies. This is a live action movie. It has to do with pirates in the Caribbean. My least favorite, at least in recent memory, is the newest Pirates of the Caribbean. Is it like 5 or 6? I think it's 5. Pirates of the Caribbean 5. Yeah. Dead Men Tell No Tales. Something like that. I think Alex and I ranted about this movie a couple podcasts ago about how modern Disney movies, or I guess like live action movies, or I don't even remember what the topics were. But yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales really was just not good. Even the movies after, the previous movies, I loved the first one. The second one was not as good as the first one, but I still enjoyed it. The third one is really when the quality started to slip, and especially in the fourth one with the Fountain of Youth or something, and it just really, I don't know. I feel like they should have stopped after the first one. I think that's what a lot of people say, because the first one like wrapped it up so perfectly. You didn't need to see any more of Jack. And one of the real problems I have with this movie franchise is the fact that they rely on Jack Sparrow way too much. Like, he was moved from just a sort of secondary character who was a comedic relief to a full-fledged main character. He's the main character in each of these movies, each of the newer ones at least. And they all get progressively dumber. 'Cause at first it's like, oh, okay, skeleton pirates and cursed gold, that sounds cool. In the second one, Davy Jones, and I mean, that's okay too. In the third one, what happened in the third one? I can't even remember. Oh, in the third one they go to
yeah, the third one's where it starts to get kind of dumb.
Yeah, they like go to this, I think they go to like Davy Jones' locker or something, and I remember there being a lot of sand, and yeah, it was. And then the fourth one is really when it took a nosedive. The other ones were like sort of not really believable, but I'm gonna say believable. But in the fourth one, it's like, okay, mermaids exist. Oh, look, we're going to find the Fountain of Youth. When the first one is just about, like skeleton pirates who live forever. It's not really much of a difference, but it's just the fact that they threw in all these mythological, not really mythological, what is the word I'm looking for? Like, in the newest one, they search for Poseidon's something, some sort of staff, and it can cure any curse or whatever. I just really dislike this movie franchise. I wish they would have stopped after the first one.
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales is just really dumb, because one of the things that I was saying is like okay, like there are some characters that are just there, what's the word I'm looking for? They're convenient, like that bald-headed witch woman. Like, she had no story in the movie. She had no character development, nothing. She was just there to provide an easy way to get from one spot to the other. It's like, oh, Jack Sparrow gave away his compass. Oh, no problem. The witch has it. She suddenly has the compass, and and there it is in Barbossa's hand, just where it needs to be. It's like, come on, they didn't have to work hard to get the compass back or anything, because they have that convenience. And then that's what I hate about certain movies is like the convenient ways, like when I saw I'll say this as another Disney movie I don't like. I guess it counts as George Lucas, but The Force Awakens, that's considered a Disney movie.
Oh.
I really hated that movie because there was so many convenient parts in that movie. Like, everything was just so, like, it just so happens that the Millennium Falcon is there, and suddenly you run into Han Solo and Chewbacca, and they happen to be at the right place at the right time, and then, and then a whole bunch of stuff like, Star Killer Base. It's just, it's this huge, giant thing that's built on a planet. Makes no sense, like, we're going to suck up the power of the sun and then, destroy a bunch of planets with it, which makes no sense because if you have enough energy and enough power to suck up a star, you have the power to blast something else with your weapons. So it's just, it's just so much stuff. But back to Pirates of the Caribbean, I just really hated it, and and then of course the thing about the dead have taken command of the sea. Doesn't that happen in every single Pirates movie? Every single Pirates movie, dead people have taken command of the sea, except for Blackbeard. But Blackbeard, he wasn't a scary character. I didn't think Blackbeard was all that villainous. I was just like, he kills people. He's just another pirate. What's so villainous about him? But anyway, so
I mean, I have a lot more things to say about this movie. I mean, they tried. I feel like I noticed points where they tried to make it a good movie, and it's really more of like a sort of soft reboot to the franchise where they can make new movies of following the two new characters. I think the kid, I'm gonna spoil this movie so none of you guys get to see it. I believe the boy, the new one that's introduced, I think he's Will and what is her name?
Elizabeth
Will
Swan.
Turner and Will and Elizabeth's son. And the girl that they introduce is Barbossa's daughter. And really the only good parts of these newer movies for me was Barbossa. I love the actor's performance. I can't recall his name. He just totally hams it up. He's having a good time playing Barbossa. And the saddest part of the movie for me was when Barbossa dies. It was a real tearjerker. And there's also, I mentioned this a previous podcast ago, there's also the fact that they've made Jack Sparrow invincible. I almost said unvincible. There's this scene in the new movie where they're trying to steal a safe, and they have horses pulling, I think it's like an entire building, and Jack is running on top of the building, and he's like, oh my gosh, new bad things are just popping into my head from this movie. There's also this scene where Jack is in like a guillotine, and oh my gosh, how does the scene go? He's in like a guillotine and he's like swinging around, and the blade is coming like just a foot from his neck every time he swings around. It just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense, Disney. Why have you done this? Yeah.
Let's see. Swagford95 says, now you guys are counting all the sequel films. That's true. Disney sequels are usually really bad. I'm going to try to think of another Disney movie, a number one movie that was terrible. Let me see. We've got tons of them.
Swagford, I don't count Cinderella 3 as a sequel movie because Cinderella 3 is the greatest Disney movie of all time. Oh my goodness.
I just laugh because I know that's a joke. Okay. Everyone's going to hate me for this. Get ready, people. Get ready. I do not like Bambi. I do not like Bambi.
Ooh.
Yeah, that is a classic Disney movie. That's right, people. A classic Disney animated feature, and I do not like it. I've watched it several times in my life, and as a matter of fact, I'm probably going to have to watch it again because Matterhorn Matt and I are going to review it eventually. But I really dislike Bambi, and not because of the fact that, you know, I mean, the animation is really amazing, and I know a lot about how they made it and stuff like that, but I don't like the story, and I don't like the characters, and I don't really connect with the characters, and I find the movie very boring, and I can't sit through the whole thing. So, oh, there we go. Swag for 95 agrees. Bambi is boring. Yeah, Bambi is boring. That's my opinion on it, and a lot of people hate me for saying that because it's such a classic. But I believe that I don't even believe Bambi did well in the box office when it came out. Honestly, I think that it was at first considered a box office failure, but then later became a Disney classic, such as many other Disney movies are. But like Peter Pan, I think that was a box office failure at first, but then became...
Oh, that's one I forgot to put on my list. Dang it. As a good movie, not as a bad movie. I love Peter Pan so much.
Yeah, so that's all I have to say about Disney movies that I don't like. I think that was my last one, honestly. I can't think of other Disney movies that I've seen that I didn't like. So
that's really crazy to think about. All these movies, we could only pick out 2 or 3 movies that we don't like.
Yeah, I mean, well, Disney makes usually a lot of good movies. Well, let me think. What's another one that I saw that I don't really like all that much?
I'm not really a fan of Sleeping Beauty. That was on my list too. I know it's a classic. I know it's probably top tier for some of you guys, but I feel like I've just seen it so many times, I'm just sick of it. I think that's what it is. And then again, I think it's really boring. Not all of the movie, of course. There are scenes that I enjoy, but I'm just not really... I don't know. I think it's just because I've seen it so many times. I'm just really sick of Sleeping Beauty. So yeah, Sleeping Beauty is my number 2, I guess.
You know, I like Sleeping Beauty, but I only like it because of Maleficent. Like, I cheer her on throughout the whole movie. I love Maleficent.
Oh yeah, who doesn't love Maleficent?
Yeah, and then when the movie with Angelina Jolie, the movie Maleficent came out, I was like, yeah, like this was like one of my that's got to be one of my favorites now is the movie Maleficent. So, yeah.
Oh, I saw that with my mom, and I was not a fan. I was not a fan of the Maleficent movie.
You gotta be kidding me.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember not being a fan. Gosh, I think I thought it was just like a really pointless movie. 'Cause we didn't really need the backstory of Maleficent, and I don't know. It felt like that movie, that Wizard of Oz movie that Disney released a while back, the one with James Franco. Oh, that has to be another one that's on my least favorite. Man, have you seen that movie?
Yes, I saw Oz, and I thought that was a pretty pointless movie. And the other thing I hated about Oz was they used the voice of what's her name? So the Wicked Witch of the West was played by
Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis, that's right. And I was like, "What? You chose Mila Kunis? Like, she does not like." Oh, the entire time I watched the movie, all I kept thinking was, "That's Meg. That's Meg." So I was just like, I was like, she does not play. And Mila Kunis is a good actress when she plays like a young woman or something like that, like, or like a stuck-up teen. She's really good at that, but she's not good at playing a villain or a complicated character. She's honestly not good at that. I don't like her acting when it comes to that. I mean, once again, like I saw I guess this doesn't have to do with Disney, but I saw the movie Ted, and she was really good in that one. But anyway, Oz, terrible movie, done really badly. Don't like it.
I mean, I love James Franco, but I do not like this movie. The whole time with the bait and switch of the two, not really queens, the two, man. So I can't even remember. There's this one, it's like she's Mila Kunis' sister, and she dresses in black with like highlights of green, and I guess they thought that the audience would think that she turns into the Wicked Witch, but it's like a bait and switch. Mila Kunis meets what is his name? Meets James Franco, like right when he gets to Oz, and she's like all helpful and stuff. You guys know what I mean. She's like a good character, I guess, but then right at the end of the movie, I can't even remember how she turns evil. She turned into the Wicked Witch of the West, and it's just, I don't know. It was just kind of cheap for me how they did that bait and switch. Like no one in their right mind would think that Mila Kunis, the good person in the movie, would turn out to be the Wicked Witch of the West, and that just really bothered me. Don't see Oz unless you like those movies. Then go ahead and see it. Oh my gosh, we could talk about movies for hours, guys. We have a lot of opinions on Disney movies, but I think it's time to segue to, I was going to say to our primary topic, but this is sort of our secondary topic now.
Yeah, we just went through our primary topic.
Let's see. If you could replace one Disneyland attraction with another. Now, I'm going to sort of lay down some ground rules. You can replace any attraction in Disneyland with either a new original idea or an attraction from another park that's not currently in Disneyland. I'm going to start off... Well, I guess we can do maybe like top 2 or top 3 attractions that we'd replace. So, Alex, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
Yeah. Okay. 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 So I would have to say that the number one attraction that I would like to replace is, let's see. Oh gosh, it's so hard to do. Okay, I'll just go ahead and say it. Okay. The Fantasyland Theater. Fantasyland Theater, that's an attraction that's currently playing Mickey and the Magical Map. I would like to replace that with a Beauty and the Beast ride. So, yeah. So I think that it's time we get another dark ride in Fantasyland, and it should be about Beauty and the Beast. Hopefully the original animated classic. I like the new Beauty and the Beast. I just didn't think that it was really all that difficult to copy and paste what they did with the animated movie and then just do it with, Anyway. Beauty and the Beast, I'd really like to see that, to have that theater replaced, because that theater, I look at it and I'm like, that looks so cheap. It looks like some kind of like cheap temporary theater.
It looks like something you'd see out of a circus. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it, and I want to see it go. And I know I've said a lot of things like, replace that theater with like a little Mickey street and then build a Beauty and the Beast land or something. But because this topic is just one attraction replace one attraction with another, then I would say that if that's how I have to do it, then I would replace the Fantasyland Theater with the Beauty and the Beast attraction. So that's my number 1.
Huh. I know we've talked about this in the past of replacing not just the Beauty and the Beast theater. I think we talked about getting rid of that one, right? The one with you're in the boat and you see all the miniatures. Storybook
Land.
Land something. Yeah, Storybook Land. I couldn't think of the name. I think we talked a while back about replacing that with the Beauty and the Beast or something. I don't remember. But I agree. I feel like we need, like, man, we've said this 1,000 times. We need a Beauty and the Beast themed land. The architecture would look amazing, hopefully, if they do it right. I wouldn't be opposed to even having like a sort of tangled area like how they have at Walt Disney World with the Rapunzel's Tower. I feel like that would make a really nice addition to the Disneyland skyline. But I think my number 1 attraction to replace, I'm not going to say Autopia or the submarines like I wanted to. I'm going to say Winnie the Pooh. I would replace Winnie the Pooh with anything else. No, I would replace Winnie the Pooh with the ride it replaced, the Country Bear Jamboree. I recently did a video on this. If you guys haven't already checked it out, go check it out. I feel like, at least for me, the Country Bear Jamboree is miles above the Winnie the Pooh ride in Critter Country. Now, that's not saying I hate Winnie the Pooh. I love Winnie the Pooh. I love the movies. I love meeting Winnie the Pooh. Have you guys ever met Winnie the Pooh? He's really, really soft. And so is Eeyore. So I'm not... I'm not really bashing on the brand itself. I just think the space could be utilized better. It's just one ride along with a really, really big gift shop. And I feel like they could maybe move Winnie the Pooh somewhere else. But I feel like, at least for me, the Country Bear Jamboree is... Oh, that rhymed. The Country Bear Jamboree is miles better than Winnie the Pooh. For one, I get to sit in a theater for 16 minutes. An air-conditioned theater, I won't have to stand in line for Winnie the Pooh. I won't have to listen to the loop that they play, the Winnie the Pooh loop that loops and loops and loops and never stops, that gets stuck in your head. Yeah, I'd replace Winnie the Pooh.
Interesting. That's interesting because, you know what? If Matterhorn Matt was allowed to replace Winnie the Pooh with Country Bear Jamboree, then I would go in right afterwards and replace Country Bear Jamboree with another ride. Because I did not like Country Bear Jamboree. I just don't.
Oh my gosh. It's just like this charm it has. It's not a great attraction, but it has this charm, that Mark Davis charm, and I just love it. I just love the songs. I love the bears. I love it so much.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see, Alex, what is your number 2?
Okay, so my number 2 would be... Okay, I would replace... I can't say what I want to say because then everyone would be like, "What? Like, that's not." Okay, I'll just say it because everyone's gonna be like, "What was it? What was it?" Okay, so I would replace the Astro Orbiter with the jetpacks from like the ones in Shanghai Disneyland, and you sit down in it and it's like being strapped into a jetpack, and then you kind of go up and you spin around. It's another spinner attraction, and I know it's like, what of all the rides in Disneyland you would replace that one? So I know that's like, but I really like the idea of the jetpacks, and I really want to ride that. I don't know why. I think that would just look so cool and be so much better than than having the Astro Orbiter. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree. The Astro Orbiter is really big, and it's not the best to look at. It didn't even blend in well when everything else was painted bronze and whatever other colors they used in the 1998 refurb. Yeah, it'd be like a sort of fresh. I don't know. I prefer it over the Astro Orbiter for sure. Let's see. My number 2. This is gonna be an interesting one. My number 2 attraction to replace is not really an attraction, it's a land. I would replace Star Wars Land with Discovery Land. A lot of you are going to be like, what? Not Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Now, I love Star Wars too, but I don't think Star Wars Land is the greatest use of space. They could maybe build a smaller version of Star Wars Land once Discovery Land, like I said, gets built. I feel like Discovery Land, it's not based on any single IP. It's got that Victorian age architecture, the steampunk. I really, really love steampunk architecture and just the whole vibe of everything. And from the concept art I've seen, I actually did a video on Discovery. Is it Discovery Bay or Discovery Island? I think it's Discovery. I can't even remember, and I did a video on it. Yeah, I did a video on it a couple months ago that gave my full opinions on it, but I would replace the Star Wars Land with Discovery Bay.
You know what? I want to comment on that because it's not my number 3. My number 3 is a different one, but about Star Wars Land, I agree with Matterhorn Matt because Star Wars Land is not really a good use of space. As a matter of fact, it's a huge use of a lot of land for, I just don't think, not enough. Disneyland is usually more packed in. There's a lot more rides closer together, and Star Wars Land is really spread out, almost like something you would see in Florida. So it doesn't, and on top of that, Star Wars I don't think really fits in Disneyland. It's I don't know. It just doesn't seem like something that really belongs in Disneyland. I think Disney just put it in there because they really needed something to draw crowds away from the classic rides and bring them into a new land. And also to increase the park's capacity so that way they could fit more people in the park and get more money. Okay, so my replacement for Star Wars Land, and I know this sounds like totally hypocritical because I just said it's not really Disney-like, but I would actually swap Star Wars Land with Cars Land. I would literally trade spaces.
Ooh.
Yeah, I would put Star Wars Land in California Adventure, and I would put Cars Land in Disneyland. And I know that Cars is Pixar, but I can't help but feel that Pixar is Disney. Like to me, Pixar and Disney are just synonymous. They're the same thing. But Lucasfilm and Disney, no, I don't feel that they're the same. So anyway, I like the idea of Discovery Bay, but I think I like the idea of Cars Land even more in Disneyland. So, yeah, I know I'm a bit hypocritical. I'll admit that. I'm sorry, people, but that's kind of what I think.
Oh man, I think we talked about this a while back too, of swapping the two lands, or not even just swapping, having Cars Land and Disneyland. I feel like that would be a much, much better fit than Star Wars Land, especially since Star Wars Land would be a better fit for California Adventure than it is for Disneyland. Man, I mean, I'd agree with you, but I feel like, man, I don't know, if that were to happen, I feel like California Adventure would be like really barren when it comes to good attractions, because one of the main reasons they built Cars Land in California Adventure was to draw more people, into California Adventure. But yeah, I guess overall I'd agree with you. It's just Star Wars Land in general. I saw a video I think it was a couple days ago, of why the Star Wars Land in Disneyland is the exact same carbon copy of the one in not the Magic Kingdom, in Walt Disney World. The YouTuber said something along the lines of how Disney doesn't want people to compare the two lands. So like, let's say the Star Wars Land in Florida has an extra attraction or like an extra restaurant. I guess what the guy in the YouTube video was saying is that they don't want the guests to be like, oh, the Star Wars Land in Florida has an extra attraction and an extra dining area. We should go to that one instead. I feel like they just want it to be just like sort of evened out. I don't know. That's just like a crazy theory I stumbled upon late at night on YouTube.
Yeah. You know what, though? I'm actually thinking about that Discovery Bay idea, and I think that would probably, even though I just said Cars Land, that might even actually be a better idea because, like you said, Discovery Bay is not one single IP. It's like you can put whatever you want in there. And how cool would it be if the Disneyland Railroad stopped in Discovery Land? How cool would that be?
Yeah.
You know, that would be really neat. So, okay, so I'm gonna in the end, I'm gonna agree with Matterhorn Matt on that one.
And plus a big plus for me for Discovery, is it Discovery Bay or Discovery Island in the chat? I'm just gonna keep saying Discovery Bay. A big part of why I chose that over anything else is because Tony Baxter really created it to blend almost perfectly with the Frontierland we have today. And with Star Wars Land, there is no blending Star Wars Land with anything else in Disneyland. That's why it's sealed off so perfectly. But with Discovery Bay, it'd be like a perfect continuation of Frontierland. At least that's what I'm thinking. That's what I've read online. That was just one of the big reasons I chose for picking that over anything else.
Yeah. And you know what? They could probably move the subs over to Discovery Bay and then, and then have a 20,000 Leagues. Or just have something along the lines of what Tokyo Disney Sea has, which is that 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea based attraction. That looked really cool. I saw the video of that, and that looked really neat. So that'd be cool to have something like that. And then, like, I don't know. Oh, I mean, I know this doesn't really fit in there, but maybe because it's around the same time frame, maybe Mystic Manor would be really cool in a corner of Discovery Bay.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I know that doesn't sound like, oh, that's not really part of Discovery Bay, but I mean, it's kind of the same time frame.
I mean, even if they wanted to keep the subs, they could just add like a walkthrough of the Nautilus in Discovery Bay. I feel like that would do the right enough justice. Yeah. Is it my turn or is it your turn to go next? I can't even remember. I think it's Alex's turn. We're gonna let him talk.
It's probably my turn, so I'll just go ahead and go. All right. So my final one would be, I would like to replace the Star Wars Launch Bay, which was the former Innoventions building. I would like to replace that building with a Tron Light Cycle roller coaster. That one, I really like that idea. I think that the Tron theme kind of fits really well in Tomorrowland. It's new, it's fresh, it's a roller coaster, but also a dark ride. I think it's really neat, and it belongs in Disneyland, and yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, I think every Disney fan would agree with you. I don't know a single person who enjoys going into the Star Wars Launch Bay for fun. I mean, if they have to go in there, they will to, I guess, cool down or, like, avoid some rain. But I would not willingly go into the Star Wars Launch Bay unless it's to meet the characters in there. or if I just need like a place to take a nap for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I walked into Star Wars Launch Bay and I was like, oh, there's nothing for me to do here, and I turned around and left.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really what it is. It's nothing. It's just displays you look at once, and then you've just seen them. You don't need to see them again. I think they play like a video or something, but it's not a really interesting video, just like the one that's across Tomorrowland from it. What is it called? The Star Wars. I don't even know. They play it in the theater by Space Mountain. I can't even remember the name of the show that's playing. But yeah, the Star Wars Launch Bay and just the Innoventions area in general really needs to go. And I agree. I feel like Tron would be a good fit for Tomorrowland. I don't even think they use the top floor of Innoventions anymore. I think last year they did some sort of fireworks viewing event where
They still have that.
Jenga or something. Would they still do that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I might do that next time I go if it's still going. But other than that, I don't think they use the top floor. I mean, I do it just for the experience. I feel like I'd have a lot of fun, maybe, possibly. I've seen one YouTube video on it. But anyways, let's see. Just Believe in Magic, Discoveryland, like Paris, or Discovery Bay, the Unmade Land. Discovery Bay is what I'm thinking of. I don't know what else I was saying. But yeah, Discovery Bay is what I meant to say if I didn't say that. Now, my number 3 gets rid of 2 attractions. My number 3 would be to replace Autopia and the submarines with any attraction that's themed after Treasure Planet. I give a lot of love for that movie on this channel, and for good reason. I love the movie. I talked about it earlier in the episode. I feel like Treasure Planet would be... Oh, now that I think about it, I think Treasure Planet would be a better fit in Discovery Bay. But yeah. I'm just going to put it in Tomorrowland anyways. I mean, imagine flying... Or I guess it'd be like a simulator. I don't even know. I'm not the Imagineer. I imagine being in like one of the pirate fights in the movie, like living that out in an attraction. I feel like that would be a really awesome experience. And for the 5 people who enjoy the movie, like me, it would be really awesome. Yeah, that's my number 3.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, kind of. I mean, if I were to replace the submarine voyage, I would actually... I still like Finding Nemo, so I would like to have a Finding Nemo Omnimover ride system like they have in Epcot. So I'd still like to have something like that, because I really do love Finding Nemo, and I think that it deserves a ride. But yeah, that's how I feel.
Mark says, why Treasure Planet over Atlantis? There is a simple answer to that question, and the answer is I have not seen Atlantis. I'm sure when I watch it, I'll love it, but at this moment in time, I have not. I think I've seen like 20 minutes of it, but I stopped watching it, like I said earlier, because I didn't feel like watching it anymore. But yeah, Alex, do you have any last closing things on the topic?
Let me see. Well, I would say that if there was one land in Disneyland that I would replace, it wouldn't necessarily be a replacement, but I would love them to completely redo Tomorrowland. I would love to see them just completely... I think at first, okay, there's a lot of historical buildings in Tomorrowland, like the building that Buzz Lightyear is in and the building that Star Tours is in. Those buildings have been there since day one at Disneyland. But I think I'm ready myself to say goodbye to those buildings. I think that they should demolish most
absolutely.
of Tomorrowland, except for Space Mountain, but demolish almost everything in Tomorrowland and start over again and redo a brand new Tomorrowland. So that's my final thought on that, because I had to mention it, because if Disney's listening or ever does listen, I'd really want them to do something about Tomorrowland before anything else.
Yeah, I agree. They really should just demolish everything in Tomorrowland except Space Mountain and just rebuild, like you said, rebuild it from the ground up, because Tomorrowland, man, we've talked about Tomorrowland I don't even know how many times. Tomorrowland is just not in a good place right now. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. That's gonna do it for these two topics. If you guys want to go ahead and ask us some questions about the topics or even about ourselves, go ahead and type in the chat and we'll be sure to answer some for you guys. Let's see, Swag495 says, you know who didn't like Treasure Planet? Disney. That's why it opened next to Harry Potter. There is a whole conspiracy theory of how Disney wanted Treasure Planet to fail, and they opened it up with Harry Potter. There's a whole video I watched about it. I'm sure Swag4 has seen it too. Yeah, I might link it in the description if I remember. But yeah, you guys can ask us some questions if you want. Ken says, completely redo Tomorrowland and include a people mover. Yes, I agree. A people mover in Disneyland's Tomorrowland would be amazing.
Yeah, they should do a people mover like they have in Florida. I really like the idea of it being all covered like that. And yeah, they should do a people mover in the new Tomorrowland, and it should be like the one in Florida.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Gregory, they originally wanted to make the submarine voyage an Atlantis attraction with the movie. With the movie bombed at the box office, so they went with Finding Nemo instead. Yeah, I think at one point they wanted to do a submarine attraction, or I guess like retheme the submarines to Treasure Planet, and then that bombed at the box office too. But I can't really comment on Atlantis. But I feel like since it has a lot to do with submarines in the movie, I think it'd be a decent fit. Then again, I haven't seen the movie, so yes.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, we've talked a lot about Tomorrowland in a lot of our recent podcasts, and even in one of my recent videos. Let's see, Just Believe in Magic says, but I feel like Tomorrowland would be difficult to make new again. What would be futuristic for us, the future? I can't think of attractions that would be futuristic in a new Tomorrowland. That's really the main problem of Tomorrowland. Disney has found ways to sort of get out of that scenario. They've done it in the in Magic Kingdom's Tomorrowland. They've done it with Discoveryland in Paris. They've done it with Tomorrowland in Shanghai. I just feel like they need to really think of what they want to theme our Tomorrowland after, because I'm sure a lot of people don't want a carbon copy of Discoveryland or the Tomorrowland in the Magic Kingdom. Although I wouldn't mind a carbon copy of the Tomorrowland in the Magic Kingdom. But I feel like I said, there's ways that they can get around it, like the retro future. I feel like they could theme Tomorrowland after sort of like the 60s or maybe even the 80s and just have it be completely retro, nostalgia filled. But then again, that would get old to a lot of people too. So yeah, it's a real big problem.
Yeah, the thing I think about Tomorrowland is I don't think Tomorrowland has to be about our real future. I don't think it has to be like that. I mean, Tomorrowland could just be something that is sci-fi themed, and it's called Tomorrowland because it's futuristic. But I mean, yes, Tomorrowland started out as a land where it was about our future and what's going to happen, but no one really finds our future that interesting anymore. So I think that Tomorrowland could be a land of fantasy, a land of sci-fi fantasy or just science fiction, and I think that some attractions that would do well in there is like if they replace Star Tours, let's say, with another simulator type ride, but based on, let's say, Big Hero 6, which I think is really cool. Or I like the idea of Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, but they need to fix it up because it's getting old looking. But I mean, if they had some better special effects in there and stuff like that, it could pass for a better attraction. Space Mountain is really awesome. It's not accurate at all, but it's fun and it's futuristic. Like, I think a Tron Light Cycle ride would look very cool in there. It'd look nice and futuristic. A brand new People Mover that takes you around Tomorrowland, that would be really cool. So I think that there's a lot of stuff they could do, and including a spinner attraction. I already talked about doing the jetpacks from Shanghai Disneyland, and I myself wouldn't mind if our Tomorrowland looked like the Tomorrowland in Shanghai. That would look really cool. So I think that there's stuff that they could do, and Tomorrowland isn't Tomorrowland isn't a land that is easy to. Well, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't know.
Yeah. I wish the Tomorrowland movie would not have bombed at the box office, so they could retheme Tomorrowland around that movie, because it's sort of an underrated movie. I understand why people didn't like it. It's sort of really hammered in the people are bad, nature, people are killing the planet sort of theme. But I feel like it would be a great fit, not really just story-wise, just looks-wise. The Tomorrowland in the movie looks really awesome. And imagine like being able to walk around in those in that land. I mean, of course, Disneyland isn't big enough to have something as, I guess, immersive as that, but even just like a small portion of it would be awesome.
Yeah, I agree. The Tomorrowland from the movie Tomorrowland looks really awesome, and I wish that movie had done better, because that would have been a really great way to redo our Tomorrowland.
Swagford95 says, tech question, do you guys use Skype to record? Yes, but I'm currently looking for a different program, sort of a more reliable one, because Skype on my phone, whenever I open it, it immediately crashes, and it doesn't fix itself when I uninstall it and reinstall it. And yeah, I'm looking for a better, more reliable program to use. Mark says, how did you get started in making videos? Your production quality is pretty high, and where I can learn to make videos like yours, specifically your motion graphics. How did I get started making videos? I've had a previous channel before this where I uploaded really, I guess, like stuff that I found entertaining when I was 13. It's not related to Disney in any way. I privated a lot of the videos on that channel, but I took a couple media classes in high school and even in middle school, and that's where I learned to edit on Premiere and to use Photoshop, and a lot of it is sort of self-taught as well. I just love graphic design. I love making motion graphics. I love using Photoshop. I love taking pictures and editing pictures. Yeah, when it comes to motion graphics, it's really just about learning the program. Like, I used After Effects to make my intro. I use After Effects pretty much everywhere in my videos, except for when I actually edit them in Premiere. It's just really, you just got to get to know the program, get to know keyframes and velocity and stuff like that. Yeah, it's kind of it. um, I use, like I said, I use Premiere to edit my videos. I use After Effects to make my graphics, like my intro. I use Illustrator to make the screen you guys are looking at right now, the Matterhorn Mondays. I use Photoshop. Very rarely I use Photoshop. I mostly stick to Illustrator when it comes to making like logos and icons and stuff like that. But yeah, I just say watch a lot of YouTube tutorials. That's how I learned. Maybe take some media classes if you're in college or whenever. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Let's see. Theme Park Teen asked, do you both have any advice for a new YouTuber? My advice would be make something original, something that nobody else is doing, as well as make it as high quality as you can, and don't do clickbait. I don't like it when YouTubers have clickbait because it's so cheap, and it's a cheap way to cheat and get subscribers or get views, and it just makes people angry anyway. So don't do that. So that's my advice.
Yeah, like the classic red circle on your thumbnail with the arrow pointing to the red circle when what's in the red circle has nothing to do with your video. Let's see, advice for a new YouTuber. I'd say one of the big things is know your audience. Who are you making your videos for? Obviously you're making videos for Disney fans. I guess not just Disney fans. Since your name is Theme Park Teen, I'd say just theme park fans in general. But if you're more aiming towards Disney fans, I guess sort of, just know your audience. Make sure you're doing things that your audience likes, and if you don't really want to do that, you can always go off and do your own thing. And I'm sure the people who enjoy whatever you come up with will come to your videos. I guess another one would be like promotion. It's really hard to promote your YouTube channel because nowadays 12-year-olds have a YouTube channel where they upload like 5-second vlogs of them making a funny noise. It's really all up to how you promote your channel. Like, a lot of people do this and they think it works. A lot of people go on to one of their favorite YouTube channels and just comment, hey, I make Disney videos, check out my channel, or something along the lines of that. I did that when I was first starting out, and it's a really quick way to get blocked from the channel you're commenting on. A really great way of sort of getting your name out there is going to a video from one of your favorite creators that sort of has something to do with what kind of videos you're making, is to actually write like a thought out comment on their video, not just like, oh, hey, come to my channel. It should be something to do with the video that you're watching, and people will read your comment. They'll click on your profile because they'll think, oh, this guy has really awesome opinions. What, does he have a YouTube channel? And then they'll just come to your channel just like that. I mean, it's not guaranteed, but it's a really great way to sort of interact, not with just your community, but the community of other YouTubers as well. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Neon Apocalypse. Should Disney demolish Roomtown? I'm assuming you meant Toontown. Yes, in short, at least for me, I think they should demolish Toontown and replace it with something a little more, not imaginative, just something else. I think I talked about this last week, how everything in Toontown looks sticky, and I don't really want to touch anything in Toontown because it looks like a 5-year-old slobbered all over it, and I don't want to like catch their germs. But Toontown is just so bland. There's just really nothing to Toontown. So much stuff is closed down. The Jolly Trolley doesn't even move anymore. But yeah, I feel like Toontown should be closed, and they should do Alex's idea of having just like a a small little Mickey Street with the Fab Five's houses.
Yeah. Yeah, Toontown should definitely go, and they should put something better in its place. And I keep saying it. They should replace Toontown with a Beauty and the Beast themed land. I think that would be really great. It would look really nice and would fit next to Fantasyland really well.
Swagfor95 says, do you guys ever think about bringing in viewers into the calls? I'm assuming you mean like having viewers guest star on the podcast. I've thought about it. I haven't really found an easy way to do it. I've been looking into using Discord. Brittany said try Discord. I use Discord all the time when I'm playing video games with my friends. I just don't think it's the right platform to be making, at least not for me, it's not the right platform to be recording podcasts on. I mean, like I said, I've thought about it, and I mean, we can try in a couple weeks maybe, once I find a new sort of software to record or to talk to you guys and to talk to Alex on. We might try Discord. I don't know. I'll have to mess around with the settings in Discord to see I guess if we can make it work. But we'll just do a couple more comments, guys. If you want to know what size shoe I wear, I think I said something along the lines of that last time. So if you want to know anything, I guess, you guys can say in the chat and we'll be sure to answer. Swagford says, replace it with Duckburg. I'm assuming that's something to do with oh, excuse me, DuckTales. I've not seen the TV show, the old or the new. I feel like a lot of people are gonna bash on me because of that, but I've just never, it just doesn't interest me. I don't think. I'm not really into cartoons. And I'm sure you're gonna say, oh, but it's so much more than a cartoon. It's so deep and informative. I mean, I watch Bob's Burgers. That's the extent of my cartoon viewing experience. I used to watch like Adventure Time and Regular Show on Cartoon Network, but I sort of grew out of those. Yeah. Let's see. Brittany, are you both from the U.S.? Yes, I was born in good old bottom of the barrel, New Mexico. I can't speak for Alex because I don't know where he was born, but yeah.
I was born in Orange County in California, so I've always lived in Orange County, and I long for moving to another county, hopefully San Francisco. But yeah, I'm from the U.S. as well.
California native. Mark says
Yeah.
the DuckTales theme song, though. The one thing I do know from the show is the theme song. I love the theme song. I guess that should be sort of like a sign that I'll probably like the cartoon is when I like the theme song. But yeah. Let's see. Alright, guys, I think we're gonna go ahead and end this episode. Alex, do you have any closing things to say before we sign off?
No, I'm good.
Alrighty, guys, if you all enjoyed, be sure to like the video, comment down below, and we want to know what you guys thought on our topics. We want to know your favorite and least favorite Disney movies, and we want to know what ride you'd replace in Disneyland with another ride, whether it be an original idea or a ride from another park. Yeah, guys, you guys can check out Alex. His channel will be in the description as always, and you can donate to him. I'll have the instructions to that in the description as well. And you guys can follow me on Twitter if you'd like. I tweet a lot. I'm just gonna say I tweet a lot. Some of it has to do with Disney, some of it does not. But if you guys want to give me a follow, you might have the chance to see sneak peeks of upcoming videos, and I tweet a lot about like release dates for videos. I tweet when we're going live. Yeah, if you all enjoyed, go over to Alex's channel, like I said. Give him a subscribe if you aren't already, and have a great big beautiful tomorrow. Woohoo!